Namaste, beautiful people. This is day 2. Welcome back. 30 days of yoga. I am so excited to have this next day for a grateful practice. So today's going to be a practice of gratitude. I want you to put on your most grateful heart right now. When it's happened to the body, it's not going to be a long practice. It's going to be a very gentle practice. But it's also going to be a very strong, transformative practice. It's crazy what a difference a few minutes of mindfulness and gratitude can do for our day and our life. So we'll get started just opening the palms on the knees, crossing the ankles, Sukhasana position. If you're tight, you can take a bolster or a blanket, anything that can elevate your butt so that the spine could sit up a little bit more neutral and long. The eyes are closing and the body is so soft. Relaxing the fingers. Relaxing the jaw, the teeth, and the tongue. Melting the cheekbones, the space in between the eyebrows. Getting a little longer out of the seat, but getting heavier through the sitting bones. It's almost like two forces. You being pulled into the floor, but also lengthen away from the floor to the sky. Could you feel that elongation happen in the spine? Place both of your hands over your heart space. Take a deep inhale, expand that space, and just let it go out the mouth. Deep inhale. Let it go. One more time. And give it away. May we make a vow to ourselves right now that we will protect, we will love this thing that we have been given for free, yet is more valuable than any material thing in this world. This thing beating right underneath our hands. May we come into a practice of gratitude. May we come into a life of gratitude. Let the palms rest on the knees. You can reopen the eyes. And we're going to do some seated cat and cows. What I want you to feel is basically the sternum being pulled forward. The inhale is going to draw the belly backwards, actually. The heart forward, the shoulders roll back, and then exhale, you're rounding through the spine. Try to lean back a little bit, hands staying pressed into the knees. Inhale, drawing the heart forward, lift the chin, open up the throat, exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, roll it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, condense. Inhale once again. Exhale, roll. Getting a little faster this time. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. Only through the nose. In. Out. You're powerful. In. Out. 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 And then one big inhale. Hold it. See if you can sip in a little bit more air. And then like a balloon was being deflated, slowly let it leave the lips and deflate the spine back. Slowly come back to center. Woo! I love this life. Let's come into tabletop pose, shoulders over the wrist and the hips over the knees. Spreading the fingers a good distance. You start to move the spine in every single way you can think of. Just becoming liquid. I find that this is one of the most organic ways to get to know the body and, what's kind of aching, what's not aching, what I'm loving on, what I'm not loving on. Really, this practice is about awareness, and awareness is love. When you start to look at the body, when you start to observe it, you see all of the intricacies of love throughout the whole entire gift of this vessel, of this home. I want you to bring your chest back to your thighs. The toes are curled. And then walk your hands as far forward as possible. Press through the hands. See if you can press your chest back towards your thighs a little bit more. Drawing your chin towards your chest. Maybe the forehead moves closer to the ground. And then slowly start to make your way forward. Your elbows are going to bend outwards. You're like dive bombing forward. Slow and controlled. Elbows hug the ribs. Tops of the feet press down. Lift it up, low cobra. Slide your hands underneath your elbows. Lengthen out the back of the neck and maybe look to your left and maybe look to your right. And then bring the spine, everything back to neutral. Gaze right out in front of you. Curl the toes. Take an inhale. You're strong. Exhale, plank pose. Slow and controlled. If you need to use your knees ever, don't be afraid to. Downward facing dog. We're here, we're just pedaling out the legs, swaying the hips, getting to know this body and where it is currently. One of my favorite quotes, and honestly feel really bad about not knowing who said it. I just read it on Instagram. But it wasn't, there was no credit given. But it said, disrespecting your heart is listening to what it needs, and then giving it something the opposite or something entirely different. Same thing goes for the body, listening to what it needs and giving it something different, giving it something opposite. May we stop doing that. May we actually listen, receive the feedback, and just start to move into ourselves, giving ourselves what we need. On your next inhale, roll the spine forward like a wave, vertebrae by vertebrae, a little tuck of the tail. And then exhale, slow as you can, lower all the way down back to the floor. Inhale, lift the heart, hands underneath the shoulders. Exhale, drop it low. Inhale, expand, lift up. Exhale, bring it low. One last time, inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring it down, and then bring it back into tabletop pose. Walk the hands or extend the arms out in front of you. Knees are underneath the hips this time, and I want you to try to drive your chest to the floor. Now, if you're like me and your upper back is as stiff as bricks currently, notice as I say currently because we're not going to be forever. I want you to drive your chest to the floor. If your chest can't come down, maybe your chin does. If your chin can't come to the floor, maybe your forehead does. And if the forehead with straight arms can't come to the ground, maybe you place something underneath it so that it has something to be stable on. This is a strong posture, straight, strong arms, continuously pressing downwards. The hips pulling back just a bit. Holding for 3. Holding for 2. And then 1, just slowly slide forward. Creep the elbows so that they're in front of the chest. Drive through the forearms. You want to make sure that the elbows are also not wider than your ribs. Driving through the forearms, just lifting up through the heart. So gentle in the way that we treat this body, but gentle does not mean the absence of power. It actually takes a powerful person to be gentle. It takes a powerful person to embrace their emotions in every single spectrum, not just the positive ones. Embrace the darkness. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. Feel the shoulders if they start to roll forward or come up towards the ears. Just feel them pull back. The heart, could you imagine the heart just poking forward a little bit more? Relaxing the jaw. You might even move it around a little bit. Make a funny face. And then we're slowly gonna bring it back. Hands underneath the shoulders. Big toes together. Knees apart. Child's pose. Arms reaching forward. Forehead resting on the ground. And just soften. This is more of an introverted posture, so that means we're kind of going more inwards. And while I love to expand, I think of myself as a introverted extrovert. I love to expand, but there's nothing more than I love than to go inside. There's so much external stimulation going on in our world. Everything wants our attention. I feel like the best thing that we can do for the state of our mind is give ourselves that own attention. Actually sit down or lay down with ourselves and really get to know this body, get to know this mind, get to know this heart. And slowly come forward into table. Walk your knees up to your wrist. Cross your ankles. And sit back onto the glutes. Now, if that just doesn't work out for you, you can swing the legs around. It looks more like this. Legs around. And bring it to your butt. I'm going to place the right foot over that left thigh. But the sole of the foot is actually landing on the floor. Turn the right knee up. Left elbow hugs the right knee. Take a turn, but again, could you feel the length of the spine? Rather than how deep you can twist, I want you to see how long you can get in your twist. Looking over that right shoulder. Listening to the breath. Gratitude for the spine. Counter twist off to the other side. And then bring it back up. Release the right leg forward. Take the left foot. Place it outside of the right thigh. Turning that left knee up. Right elbow hugs the left knee. Left hand comes behind us. And again, we're just opening gently. Focusing on the length rather than the depth. And then slowly counter twist off to the other side. And release the left leg forward. Reach your fingers forward. And then just slowly just pivot forward, dropping elbows, dropping hands, dropping head. Now, if this feels impossible, because it looks more like, or the hamstrings and lower back are so tight that when you reach forward or when you come forward, your lower back is actually rounding, the upper back is actually rounding, then I want you to elevate the hips, the pelvis with a blanket or something else so that when you sit up here, you're at least upright. And even if it's just like this, that's a great place to be, rather than this and stressing the lumbar disc. But we'll hang out here just for a little bit. Letting go of the head. Is there anything that we can let go of on this mat right now? And if we were to let go of it, we would leave this mat a lighter human being. May we let go of something that is no longer serving us. Another one of my favorite quotes. You've got to be willing to give up something good to get something great. Not all blessings are meant to last forever. Trust the process. And we'll bring it back up. Take the hands behind you. Pressing through the hands, project the heart forward. You can either do reverse plank, which is straight legs, pointed toes to the ground, or tabletop, which I prefer because I have really tight shins and ankles. Pressing through the feet, lift up to the hips, drop the head back, and we're rocking back and forth. If you're in table, if you're in plank, you're staying still. We're here for 3. Keep on driving. We're here for 2. And then 1, slowly let it go. Just take a seat or come back into Sukhasana. If you did right in front of left last time, I want you to do left in front of right this time. Just balancing ourselves out. Allow the palms to open up on the knees. Allow the skull to be pulled up by an imaginary string towards the sky. Imagine a weight in your lap, just pulling you down towards the floor, pulled in both directions. Take your right hand to your left shoulder. Walk the fingers to the outer shoulder. Eyes are still closed. And then taking the left elbow underneath the right elbow, grab your left or your right shoulder with your left hand. A really nice hug. Chin towards the chest. Bow forward. This is love. And I thank you guys for taking the time to show love on your mat, to show love to yourself. Slowly come back up. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. Take an inhale. And then exhale, right elbow underneath, left arm over the top. Again, just bowing forward. And then we're slowly coming back up. Reach the arms up to the ceiling, take an inhale. Exhale, cactus elbows, open it up. Inhale, reach straight. Exhale, hands down to heart. I thank you guys so much for joining me in this space. Namaste.